Hold on, let me check and see this is on. It's on. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Meet the Mushroom, and today we're going to be talking about the iconic Fly Amanita. It's been on my list for a long time to make, and so I'm doing it today. Guys, I'm doing it. A little bit about me. I'm Holly. I created the brand Susrooms, where I basically just make mushroom art, but on this YouTube channel, I've been posting Meet the Mushroom videos where I basically dive deep into specific kinds of mushrooms. I've been making art vlogs and doing like silly quizzes and documentary type content as well. At the very end of this episode, I'm actually going to be sharing my art. For every single episode that I make, I've been creating these collector's cards where you basically learn all about that kind of mushroom in a format similar to like a Pokemon card. It's in a fun way, and if you want to receive these every single month, you can sign up for my mushroom club. You will basically get the cards and a sticker pack. You can also see all of my YouTube videos a day in advance as well for an exclusive access, and yeah, let's get into the video. So the Fly Amanita, another name for it is actually called the Fly Agaric. One of the fun facts about this mushroom is that this mushroom actually attracts flies to it because of the chemicals and stuff that it releases into the air. I have different sources that I've seen where basically it kills the flies on impact, or it just attracts them and hallucinates them. So take what you will from that. Sources are kind of funny about that. I've never had one, I don't have one, so I don't know. But I can just assume that it hurts them. So flies beware of this kind of mushroom. Does this mushroom change color or glow? Well, it doesn't glow, but it does change color over time. While the cap color can fade with age and weather, it doesn't dramatically color change or glow in the dark. Kind of similar to other mushrooms that we've talked about. Some of them change in different ways. This one just seems to fade in color. Also, fun fact, did not know this until literally today doing research. Like the weird warts, this is not a Fly Amanita, but I'm using this as a reference. The weird white dots that you see, they're called warts. They can fall off in the rain, from rain. That's weird. Does this mushroom have a distinctive smell? Sort of. So it kind of has a smell, but it's not super distinctive. Some kinds of mushrooms really stank and some don't. Does this mushroom have any potential for maybe medicine? While it has psychoactive properties, this one doesn't really have scientific discovery to it. So in the past, this type of mushroom was used in medicine, but it is not anymore. There's better ways to kind of deal with pain, fatigue, and that sort of stuff. This kind of mushroom, fun fact, will cause you to hallucinate, but it's not exactly one that you want to dabble with. It can become really scary. We'll get into that in a bit though. Let's talk about what this kind of mushroom looks like. So the cap color, the iconic bright red, almost orange looking cap with the white warts, weird warts on top of it. The color can actually change and fade to a orange yellow over time, but also whenever it is in direct sunlight, which is interesting. It is covered in a distinctive white or sometimes yellowish warts or patches, which are remnants of the universal veil. So we'll get into that as well. The maturity changes for this type of mushroom. It actually starts out as a tiny little egg thing. And so it emerges from this egg type enclosure, and that's called the universal veil. So the warts that are left behind are actually the white exterior shell of the mushroom that emerges. Very interesting. I've never really known this about this kind of mushroom, and I've never seen anything like it before in the other mushrooms that I've studied. So this was really interesting to learn. The stem color of this type of mushroom is white or yellow. Does it have gills or pores? It has true gills. So the last couple mushrooms that we've talked about, they've had false gills, and this one actually has true ones. So what does that mean exactly? It is free from the stem, which means it is not attached. So that's kind of what the definition of true gills means. The size of this type of mushroom ranges from about 5 to 20 centimeters, which is a little bit bigger than some of the other mushrooms that we talked about. I don't think it's as big as this guy. But let me just get out my ruler. So in inches, this thing can actually get between 6 and 8 inches, which, you know, I think we're all familiar with what that size is. So compared to my little friend right here, little big friend, this would be a ginormous mushroom. From about here to here, that's pretty big. That's pretty big for a mushroom. And lastly, with the features of this mushroom, does it have a reaction whenever it is cut? It does turn yellow slightly whenever it is cut or bruised or anything. But that's about it for the reaction on that mushroom. As we've mentioned before, this type of mushroom is poisonous. Now, how poisonous is poisonous though? Okay guys, so not only does this type of mushroom have certain types of acid, it also can cause some extreme harm when digested. It can cause nausea, confusions, hallucinations, and delirium. While deaths are rare for this type of mushroom, that doesn't mean that there are not severe cases. I will say, side note, this type of mushroom could be edible, but you have to be extremely careful. This is not me telling you to go out and eat this kind of mushroom, okay? And I'm not even gonna wear my silly little hat for this one, okay? I don't want you to eat this kind of mushroom, okay? But technically speaking, some types of cultures like to parboil or boil this kind of mushroom to get rid of the toxins. This does not guarantee any sort of safety, and if anything, this mushroom should definitely be avoided. Do not eat it, to say the least. Misconceptions about this type of mushroom's safety and about red mushrooms is that they're considered extremely deadly, but not particularly. There are types of mushrooms that are way more deadly than this type of Fly Amanita. There are other kinds of amanitas that don't look similar to this one, but are extremely deadly. Hey, stay away from these. This is just for educational purposes because mushrooms are kind of cool. Another misconception is its psychoactive effects are purely recreational. No, they are not. They can be quite unpredictable and unpleasant. Let's get into the dangerous lookalikes. I found a couple that kind of look similar to this one. They're in the same family, so let's get into what those are. First off of the list, we have the Jackson's Slender Amanita. The cap color is bright red or orange red. It also fades with age, just like the Fly Amanita, to like an orange color. The cap surface is smooth and typically lacks the warts or patches. So that's something very distinctive between the two, as that one has the warts and one does not. And the universal veil can be present. The stem color is yellow. It has orange and reddish fibers or patches, which is kind of interesting. It still looks similar enough, but that was another thing that was kind of different, distinct for this mushroom. As the name goes, this is a very slender looking mushroom. So it's not as ginormous as the Fly Amanita. It's a little bit more slender. The gills are actually a yellow orangish color, and they are considered true gills. And toxicity, is this type of mushroom toxic? It actually is considered edible. Now, we're really not going to get into that kind of mushroom in particular, but when identifying a toxic mushroom with an edible one, you just want to be super careful. Okay, and lastly, this mushroom does not have any sort of staining or bruising or anything when exposed to the air. That's number one. Okay, and this second mushroom I think looks the most like the Fly Amanita. It is called the peach-colored Fly Amanita, so still very similar. Obviously, it has a pinkish cap color. It is also often adorned with warts, but they're not exactly white. They're more of like a yellowish pale color. The stem color is usually almost like a yellow as well. Ooh, and it can have shaggy tapers. So a sneak peek, I'm actually going to be talking about a shaggy mushroom in upcoming videos. I think next episode I'm talking about the shaggy something. I still need to do research on it. I guess this is one that's just in the same family that has that kind of quality. So it's just a shaggy exterior as well. And this mushroom has true gills as well that are more pinkish in color. And for toxicity, this mushroom is just as toxic as the Fly Amanita. Oh, and this one does not have a reaction at all whenever cut, hit, bruised, you name it. Those are the two that I think look the most like the Fly Amanita. Okay guys, let's get into the climate. Where in the world does this mushroom like to live? Where does it hang out? Well, the Fly Amanita likes to live in temperate and boreal regions. So I actually looked up what boreal means, and it's kind of like a colder climate, like Canada, Alaska, Russia, basically the northern hemisphere, including North America, Europe, and Asia. But it also has been introduced into the southern hemisphere, such as Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. So it kind of seems like this mushroom really enjoys colder weather. This type of mushroom is often found in woodlands, forests, heathlands. This type of mushroom is called and considered an ectomycorrhizal mushroom, which just means that it really benefits from the roots of trees. I think it's still so interesting how the ecosystem works and how life gives back to life, and I find it really cool, guys. Okay, and lastly, the cultural significance. Has this mushroom ever been used as medicine? As we've talked about before, yes, it has been, but it is not currently in modern medicine. There's other forms of medicine that seem like a better option. Is there any folklore, myths, or legends associated with this mushroom? Yes, there is. So I'm excited to share that with you today. In the Siberian culture, and also the red in this kind of mushroom has also been associated with how Santa Claus has come to be as well. His colors. It has really just been associated with so many fairy tales and so many stories, and I think it's probably because of the hallucinogenic aspect of it too. So you can kind of guess how the stories were made.
Wow.
And lastly, this one is not commercially harvested. It is mostly wild harvested, but I would definitely be careful with harvesting this type of mushroom just because of how toxic it is. It's great for the environment, as we've learned, so I think it's just best to keep this one where it is. It is now time for the game. In this segment of the episode, I basically share a bunch of different images, one with the Fly Amanita and another one that maybe looks similar. And I want you to guess which one is which and see how many get right and see how many you don't. Just be aware that hunting for mushrooms always has risk with it, so just be careful. Thank you for coming back. How many did you get right and how many did you get wrong? Y'all be careful out there, okay? Hunting for mushrooms. It is now that time of the segment where I'm going to share my art. The Fly Amanita has been long awaited, and today I'm going to be talking about it. Ta-da! There it is. I think this might be one of my favorite cards to create because it's just so colorful. I really wanted the background to be very moody as well. So a lot of the stickers that I actually made for this type of mushroom was just it eating flies. So this is the OG one. He's just got a little smirk on his face, he's up to no good. It was just so fun to make. This guy, and he's just munching on some flies. It so wants to focus on my face. I also made a mushroom that has I love flies on it, a little t-shirt. That one was really cool too. And I tried to also make the cap and everything kind of shiny with the warts as well to kind of just make it more realistic looking. And then lastly, I have the sticker. There we go. I just wanted it to be half of the stickers are them trying to find the flies, and then half of them were just kind of goofy looking. So for the qualities of this Fly Amanita, he has fly stunning powers, luring flies with scent and striking them down. Bright colors feed his confidence as they draw attention to him. He has a mythical past, as some cultures have tamed his nature. The strength of this type of mushroom, I was thinking it was very hypnotic, just because it's red, bright, and luring the flies to their death. The weakness is flammable. I was kind of thinking this might be something as a weakness for this type of mushroom too. And then for the power move, I wanted it to be hypnotic spores. Confuses opponents. But yeah, that is the mushroom card for the Fly Amanita, and I also have my staple back too. But yeah, if you want to support my art, I will be putting these on my Etsy, but if you want to get them ahead of time, you can always join my mushroom club. I have a couple more spots left if you want to do that. As always, I am Holly with the brand Susrooms. Subscribe for more videos. You can also binge all of the videos that I've already posted. You can follow me on my socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, that sort of stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment if I left anything out about this type of mushroom, or if there's anything that you're interested in learning next. All right, bye, thank you.